In this paper, in the next few minutes, my colleague Cindy will present to you the demographics, the technologic, and the employment profile, highlighting technology integration in the workplace. In this paper, we will be answering two specific questions. One, describe the utilization of technology integration in the workplace in relation to internet connectivity and satisfaction, digital platforms, and means of communication in relation to face-to-face, digital, and hybrid. Second, Cindy, my co-author, will present to us the significant relationship of internet satisfaction versus the continent, the country's income level, company form, and company type, as well as the company size. Second, Cindy will also demonstrate to us the significant relationship of the digital platform versus continent, country's income level, company form, company type, and company size. Last but not the least, which I feel very interesting also, is to correlate the means of communication versus continent, country's income level, company form, company type, and company size. In this data, Cindy will also show to us the demographics, and the the survey was conducted in online for about 36 countries in Europe, USA, Latin America, Africa, and Asia that gathered a total of 5,379 responses. Asia is on the top, followed by Europe. Cindy, please go ahead.
Based on our results, Table 1 shows the ranking of the type of internet connectivity utilized in the workplace. As seen, Wi-Fi connection is the most utilized in all continents, then followed by the wired connections. Prepaid data plan is least implemented type of connectivity in the workplace. Africa is the least used type of connectivity is prepaid data plan. When asked their satisfaction with regards to their connectivity, it yields that an overall mean of 3.13, which implies that they are moderately satisfied with their bandwidth connections, with 4.0 being the highest possible satisfaction level. Data shows that Europe with 3.30 and the North America with 3.45 are highly satisfied with their internet. Africa with 2.64 is the lowest level of internet satisfaction. Data also shows that Wi-Fi connectivity is the least utilized internet connectivity from lower middle, and high income countries. Wired connectivity is the least utilized in the lower middle income countries. Postpaid data is the most utilized in the lower middle and high income countries. Virtual and non-virtual companies have the same status of their connectivity, with prepaid data being the most utilized and Wi-Fi being the least utilized. Postpaid data is the most utilized connectivity in large enterprises, small group of companies, and large group of companies, while wired is the least. Prepaid data is the most utilized in small enterprises and medium-sized company, while Wi-Fi is the least utilized in these companies. Table 2 shows that the result of the analysis made so as to ascertain whether or not significant relationship exists between each of the components included in the respondent's profile and their level of internet satisfactions. Continent, income level, type of company, company form, company size appeared to be significantly related to the level of satisfaction. Table 3 shows that ranking of digital platform used in the workplace result shows that other social sites are the most utilized digital platform in the world, followed by the Twitter, followed by the video portals. Email using company domain is the least available platform in the workplace. Interestingly, workplaces uses Twitter than Facebook across the continents. Twitter is the most utilized in low income, non-government, semi-private and semi-government, and business with one person. Expectedly, company websites are implemented better in virtual companies than non-virtual. Surprisingly, blogs and forum or inquiry form are implemented better in non-verbal companies than verbal companies. Twitter is the most utilized platform in small enterprises and large group of companies. Table 4 shows the result of the analysis made so as to ascertain whether or not significant relationships exist between each of the components in the respondent's profile and integration of digital platforms. Continent, income level, and company type, company form, and company size appear to be significantly related to utilize of digital platforms. As seen on Table 5, hybrid form of communication is the most utilized. The data shows a consistent ranking of utilization across all kinds of employees. Face-to-face with coworker are most of the preferred in the workplace with 1,481. As seen on Table 6A, hybrid form of communication is the most utilized. The data shows a consistent ranking of utilization across all kinds of employees. Face-to-face with coworkers are the most preferred in workplace with 1,481 or 22.77%. African countries most preferred is face-to-face with subordinates, while Asian, European, and North Americans preferred face-to-face with co-workers. South Americans preferred face-to-face with their supervisor. In terms of digital means, communication using digital means with client are the most preferred. In Africa and Asia countries, digital communication with co-workers is least preferred. Digital communication with subordinates is the least preferred from the European and North Americans. In terms of hybrid communication, with the clients are the most preferred, while the least is the co-worker. African and Asian countries preferred hybrid communication with co-worker, the least, while European, North Americans, and South Americans not preferred communication hybrid with subordinates. Table 6 shows the result of the analysis made so as to ascertain whether or not a significant relationship exists between each of the components in the respondent's profile and integration of digital platforms. Digital, income level, type of company, company form, and company size appeared to be significantly related to utilization of digital platforms. Company size do not affect any means of face-to-face, whether face-to-face or hybrid. Company form affects the utilization of hybrid means, but it does not affect the utilization face-to-face and digital of communications. Our conclusion and recommendation: technology integration in the workplace is varied, which are affected by the company's location and company profile. It is concluded that technology integration varies in different parts of world which is affected by many interrelated factors in the countries and companies. The use of social networking sites is prevalent in the workplace. Hybrid means of communication is predominantly used in many type, form, and size of companies. Considering the kind of technologies that are already or yet to be available in different parts of the world, specifically the geographical, cultural, and other possible challenges that could affect the degree of impact in the country and the company when integrating the existing technologies. Workplaces must improve its bandwidth connectivity to support and improve its operation. And there should be a closer discussion on the data protection and privacy in digital world, practices of responsible netizenship, and trust level in information technology. Thank you very much for listening. This is the end of our presentation. Based
Thank you, Cindy. And the paper, as explained, explained more on the integration, the technology integration in the workplace. My next co-author will present to us on one of the indicators or one of the variables in the measurement of our digital trust, particularly on the process, but specifically will highlight more on the responsible netizenship in the society. It will be presented by Cynth Palama, Aurielle, Lisa Maypa, and of course, together with us, with the co-author, Professor Dr. Markus Launer. Lisa?
Hello, good day, everyone. Let me just share my screen first. Okay, just a moment, please.
Maybe I can thank you in the meantime for our former speaker, excellent analysis and excellent presentation. And maybe Dave one time can tell me how she appeared in the charts on the top right-hand position. Dave, you're always 2 steps ahead of me, maybe 3 steps. So the charts are uploading. And the crazy chart behind Dave Marcial, I have to apologize, that was my idea. I tried to put all the activities from this Congress into one chart because it's very hard to give an overview. This is not a normal conference like the researchers know it from all over the world. We are Suderburg, and we are just the beginning. It's the 5th Congress and the 2nd one online. We're learning every day, and we have lots of activities. Not only lots of speakers, we have great co-hosts, and thank you so much again for all of you supporting this conference. I'm so thankful every time I see this here online. How are we doing with the presentation now?
Yes. Shall we start now? Sorry about that. Some technical issues.
Aurielle, the floor is yours.
Okay. So again, good day. I am Aurielle Maypa, and together with Cynth Palama, we will be presenting to you our article that is a subset of Marcial and Launer's Digital Trust in the Workplace. Thus, the title Responsible Netizenship in the Society, a Measurement of Trust in the Digital World. With a growing phenomenon of technology, netizens have a great deal of attention on new digitalization. Part of the digital trend is the data and privacy law, which guarantees that the information shared by clients is used for its intended purpose. However, digital trust is an expanding subject of scrutiny. Therefore, society should find ways and means to win the trust of netizens. This article measures the trust level on responsible netizenship in the society. Specifically, it describes the level of confidence among employees on how society is doing responsible netizenship, and presents the significant relationships and differences between trust and social demographics, employment, and technologic profile of the respondents. The study was conducted in different sectors from 36 countries in Europe, USA, Latin America, Africa, and Asia. Data sets from 5,146 respondents were extracted from Marcial and Launer's survey 2020 on digital trust in the workplace. So a total of 5,621 respondents were analyzed, and responses with incomplete data were removed. The survey question is adopted from the Caldecott principles. Research questions has 10 statements with 4 levels of agreement using the 4-point Likert scale. So basically 1 being the strongly disagree, 2 disagree, 3 agree, and 4 strongly agree. This measures the agreement of level of the respondents to each question. So my co-author, Cynth Palama, will be the one to discuss the results.
Okay, so for the results, the overall mean is 2.59 on the agreement level to the statement responsible for netizenship in the society is described as agree. It implies that the employees have a moderate level of trust that the society is performing netizenship responsibly. Interestingly, the respondents do not trust that their data and information given to any company website will not be passed on to third parties. The respondents have the belief that their browsing habits are being tracked, thus providing personal information in social media is not safe. Surprisingly, the respondents do not trust that their government is protecting their personal information. In terms of income level, respondents from countries with low income economies are highly confident on responsible netizenship in the society compared to the lower and high income economies, which are all moderate. In terms of company position, respondents from middle management has the highest mean trust level and responsible netizenship in the society compared to the first level management and self-employed, which are still all moderate. For the test of relationship between demographic profile and responsible netizenship, all variables are significantly correlated to the level of trust on responsible netizenship in the society. For the technologic profile and responsible netizenship, the data denotes that these technologic profile affect the trust level of the employees towards their perception on how the society is implementing responsible netizenship. So results shows that social technological ladder and internet satisfaction are significantly related to the level of trust on the responsible netizenship in the society. For the employment profile and responsible netizenship, results shows that the company form, size, type, position, status, and professional experience are still significant related to the level of trust on responsible use of netizenship. Furthermore, a multiple regression was calculated to predict the trust level on responsible netizenship. Age, gender, continent, innovation index, and income level were significant predictors of trust level on netizenship. A significant regression equation was found as R squared of 0.08. For the test of difference of trust level among the groups of respondents according to their demographics, results shows that the company form, age, type, size, position, gender, educational attainment are significantly related to each other. These results are manifested the p-values which are higher than the margin of error at 0.05. On the test of relationship between demographic profile and responsible netizenship, results shows that social technological ladder and internet satisfaction are significantly related to the level of trust on responsible netizenship in the society. In the same manner, the multiple regression resulted in the social technological ladder and the level of internet satisfaction being significant predictors of trust level on the responsible netizenship. And for the test of relationship between employment profile and responsible netizenship, results shows that the company form, type, size, position, status, and number of years of working are significantly related to the level of trust and responsible netizenship to the society. On the other hand, the multiple regression resulted in the respondent's job position. Company form, company role, and company size were significant predictors of trust level on responsible netizenship. Data shows that the middle management are better in their trust that society is doing netizenship. For the test of difference between employment profiles and responsible netizenship, result shows that the company form again, type, size, position, status, and the years of working are not significantly related to a difference. Okay, so for the conclusion, citizens have reasonable trust that society is doing netizenship responsibly. Most importantly, the government must establish credibility on protecting citizens. Yeah, so that's all for today. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.
Much.
Thank you, John. And that's the presentation about responsible netizenship. And it's basically highlighted particularly on the internet and social media as part of the framework in the process of digital trust. What was John was presenting are the items that ask about the level of trust in terms of the internet and social media use and translating it into a definition or into a term called netizenship. In this juncture, my next co-author will present to you another angle or another lens of digital trust in the workplace, which from process, let us proceed to the data protection and privacy, which is still again part of the process.
Dave, I have to say, excellent presentations as we tried before in the trial session. Excellent analysis, and I hope we will have a lot of publication on that.
The next presentation is to be presented by Fredly Bukug. We have to change the order for you to be able to understand that the second paper is also related because it is under onto one angle, which is on process. Fredley?
Good day, mabuhay from the Philippines. I am Fredly P. Bukog, one of the co-authors of this paper, and here are the names of my co-authors: Dave E. Marcial, Jade O. Montemayor, and Markus A. Launer. Our paper is entitled How Employers Protect Data and Privacy, Measuring Trust in the Digital World. The paper is a subset of digital trust in the workplace, and this paper is existed because drivers to digital trust are safety, security, reliability, privacy, and data ethics. And it is one of the components under the process of digital trust, specifically the data protection and privacy. This paper is anchored on the General Data Protection Regulation, or what we call the GDPR principles. In the digital age, data plays a huge role in the workplace. The terms data protection and data privacy are very closely connected to each other. In combining the two terms, data protection and data privacy, we come up with the four pillars. First pillar is data confidentiality. In this pillar, the personal data should only be used or accessed exclusively by the designated personnel in that company for purposes agreed. No one else should be allowed to use the data for illegal purposes or view the data out of curiosity. The second pillar is data integrity. In this pillar, personal data should not be changed or altered by unauthorized persons without prior notice. It should be reliable and trustworthy. The third pillar is what we call data availability. In this pillar, authorized personnel should be able to access personal data when needed, or employees should be able to access any of their data kept by the company when they request it. And the last pillar is what we call the law. It concerns how data can be kept, processed, handled, and exchanged with third parties, as well as adherence to relevant privacy laws. And this paper is anchored on the General Data Protection Regulation, or what we call the GDPR principles. Thus, data protection and privacy means safeguarding the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of the data in the workplace to prevent unauthorized personnel from using and accessing the data for their personal gain, adhering to the relevant privacy laws. With that being said, it improves the trust level in the workplace. In connection to data protection and privacy in the workplace, we also highlighted two privacy laws in our paper. First is what we call the GDPR, or the General Data Protection Regulation. This is an international law of European Union member states. And also, this paper is anchored to its principles. And we also have the Republic Act 10173. This is a national law here in the Philippines. This is pertaining to the Data Privacy Act of 2012. This paper measures the trust level on data protection and privacy in the workplace. Specifically, It describes the level of confidence among employees on how their workplaces protects their data and privacy. Presents the significant relationships between trust and social demographics, employment, and technological profile of the respondents. Presents the differences between trust and social demographics, employment, and technological profile of the respondents. Datasets were extracted from Marcial and Launer's survey 2020 data on digital trust in the workplace. It was an online survey conducted in different sectors from 36 countries in Europe, the USA, Latin America, Africa, and Asia. A total of 4,843 responses were included in the analysis out of 5,621 total responses from the survey. 778 responses with incomplete data were removed. Respondents were asked their level of agreement with the 8 statements regarding data protection and privacy. A 4-point Likert scale is used as follows. 1 for strongly disagree, which means high distrust. 2 for disagree, which means do not have the confidence. 3 for agree, which means moderately confident that the company is protecting their data and privacy. They trust the company is doing the right way. And 4 for strongly agree, which means highly confident that the company is protecting their data and privacy. I will now give the virtual floor to Jade Montemayor to continue with the results and conclusion.
Thank you very much. This is great.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jade Montemayor, and I will be the one to discuss about the results of our paper. As gleaned in Table 1, the overall mean of the trust level is 3.01, which is described as agree. Statement number 7, which talks about data archiving practices, has the lowest mean trust level of 2.96. Notably, all statements related to data protection and privacy practices were rated and described as agree as well. The result denotes that the employees have a moderate level of trust that their workplaces are protecting their personal data and privacy. It is also noted that respondents from North America are highly confident that their workplaces are protecting their data and privacy compared to respondents from other continents, which again are all moderate. Respondents coming from countries with high-income economies are highly confident that their workplaces are protecting their data and privacy compared to other respondents coming from low and middle-income economies, which are all moderate. Respondents who are extremely satisfied with their internet connection have a high level of trust that their workplace is protecting their data and privacy. On the other hand, respondents who are slightly satisfied and not at all satisfied with their internet connection do not have the confidence that their company is protecting their data and privacy. Table 2 shows the result of the analysis made as to ascertain whether or not a significant relationship exists between the respondents' demographic profile and their level of trust on data protection and privacy. It is worth noting that all variables appeared to be significantly related to the level of trust on the protection of data and privacy in the workplace. This goes to show that the respondents' age, civil status, gender, educational attainment, workplace, and country's income level significantly affects their trust on data protection and privacy. Further, a multiple regression was calculated to predict the trust level on data privacy based on their age, status, gender, education, country's innovation index, continent, and income level. A significant regression equation was found, as you can see on the screen, with an R-squared of 0.084. meaning the respondents' workplace, innovation index, and income level were significant predictors of trust level on data privacy. Result shows that respondents from North America are highly confident that their company is protecting their privacy with a mean trust level of 3.25. On one hand, result shows that the respondents coming from other continents like Asia, Africa, Europe, Oceania, and South America are moderately confident that their workplaces are protecting their data and privacy. Interestingly, respondents from Africa showed the lowest mean trust level of 2.58. On the same manner, results show that those who have high income are highly confident that the data and privacy are protected with a mean trust level of 3.25. It also shows that respondents from countries with lower income, lower middle, and upper middle income are moderately confident that the company is protecting their data and privacy. Those who are coming from upper middle income showed the lowest mean trust level of 2.75. The results imply that the workplaces have seriously implemented their policies and guidelines on data protection and privacy. A one-way ANOVA was conducted to compare the differences of trust level on data protection and privacy on the different demographic profiles. An analysis of variance shows that the trust level among the groups of respondents in terms of age, status, gender, education, continent, and income level significantly differs. The results are manifested in the p-values of 0.00, which is lower than the margin of error at 0.05. This goes to show that their differences of trust level have reached the significance level. Hence, the employee respondents' civil status, gender, highest educational attainment, continent where they came from, and the income level of the country they are living with significantly differs. Table 5 shows the results of the analysis made as to ascertain whether or not a significant relationship exists between the respondents' technological profile and their level of trust on data protection and privacy. It is worth noting that the latter and internet satisfaction appeared to be significantly related to the level of trust on data protection and privacy in the workplace. This goes to show that the respondents' technological ladder and level of internet satisfaction significantly affects their trust on data protection and privacy. A significant regression equation was found with an R-squared of 0.202. However, when a multiple regression was calculated to estimate the trust level on data privacy based on their social technological ladder and internet satisfaction at the workplace, only internet satisfaction at the workplace was a significant predictor of trust level on data privacy. It denotes that levels of satisfaction to the workplace, internet connection significantly affects the trust level. Notably, respondents who are extremely satisfied with their internet connection are highly confident that the company is protecting their data and privacy with a mean trust level of 3.35. Unsatisfied and slightly satisfied respondents distrusted the company on their data protection and privacy practices. Moderately satisfied respondents have an acceptable level of confidence in terms of company's data protection and privacy operations with a mean trust level of 3.00. Looking at the table, it's safe to say that the more the respondent is satisfied with their internet connection, the higher their level of trust is in terms of data privacy and practices of their workplace. To compare the differences of trust level on data protection and privacy on the different technological profiles, a one-way ANOVA was conducted as shown in Table 7. The analysis of variance shows that the trust level among the groups of respondents in terms of social technological ladder and internet satisfaction significantly differs. These results are manifested in the p-values of 0.00, which is lower than the margin of error at 0.05. This goes to show that their differences of trust level have reached the significance level. Hence, the employee respondents from the different social technology ladders and level of internet satisfaction significantly differs. Table 8 shows the results of the analysis made as to ascertain whether or not a significant relationship exists between the respondents' employment profile and their level of trust in data protection and privacy. Just like with demographic and technologic profiles, all variables in employment profile appeared to be significantly related to the level of trust on protection and data privacy in the workplace. A multiple regression was measured to forecast the trust level on data privacy based on the years of experience, employment status, job position, company type, company form, company role, and company size. A significant regression was found, as what you can see with the equation here on the screen, with an R-squared of 0.014. The respondents' job position, company form, and company size were significant predictors of trust level on data privacy. Data shows that the levels of management affects the level of trust to the company in relation to data privacy and protection. It is also noted that contributors like salesmen, clerical, secretarial, and technical employees have the highest mean trust level of 3.11, while those who are from the top management has the lowest mean trust level of 2.86. Results signifies that company forms impacts trust level on data and privacy. It is noted that respondents who work on-site have higher mean trust level of 3.03 than those who work virtually with a mean trust level of 2.96. Further, the result shows that the number of employees in a workplace affects trust level on data and privacy. It is also noted that respondents who work on large group company with over 10,000 employees have better confidence level with a mean trust level of 3.14 compared to large enterprise, medium size, small enterprise, and small group. Further, a one-way ANOVA analysis was conducted to compare the differences of trust level on data protection and privacy on the different employment profiles. The analysis of variance shows that the trust level among the group of respondents in terms of company type, company size, job position, and years of working experiences significantly differs. As shown in Table 10, the results are manifested in the p-values of 0.00, which is lower than the margin of error at 0.05. This goes to show that their differences of trust level have reached the significance level. Hence, employee respondents from different organization type significantly differ. The same result goes to company size, job position, and number of years of experience. On the other hand, the two, which are the permanent and probationary groups of respondents, do not significantly differ. The result is manifested in the p-value of 0.25, which is greater than the margin of error at 0.05. This goes to show that although there are differences in their weighted means, such difference have not reached the significance level. Hence, permanent and probationary employee respondents are on the same degree of trust on how their company is protecting their data and privacy. Based on the result, here are our conclusions. Employees have moderate trust level on how their workplaces implement data protection and privacy policies. Employees are confident that their workplaces are protecting their data and privacy. The employees believe that their workplaces process their personal data lawfully and transparently, ensuring fairness towards the individuals. Confidence level towards data protection and privacy in the workplace is affected by demographic, technologic, and employment profiles. This includes the continent, the innovation index and income level, internet satisfaction, job position, company form, and company size. And lastly, other than being permanent and probationary employees, respondents from different groups in their demographic, technologic, and employment profiles have different degree of trust on how their company is protecting their data and privacy. For the recommendations, there is a need for any organization to improve its data archiving practices. Also, better technical and organizational measures shall be put in place when keeping personal data for a longer period in the public interest or for reasons of scientific or historical research. That would be all. Thank you.
Thank you, Jade. The presentation was all about or a part of the process factor in the measurement of digital trust in the workplace. The presentation specifically shared to us or explained to us the very important and vital aspects in terms of getting and winning the trust level among the employees on the data protection and privacy. Our last presentation in this session will talk about the technology integration or the digital trust on technology, specifically on hardware, software, and people. This will be presented by first Miss Alfie Arcelo, together again with Jade Montemayor and Professor Markus Launer.
Hi, good day. I'm Alfie Arcelo, and with me to present this paper is my colleague and co-author, Jade O. Montemayor. This paper is an offshoot of the study Digital Trust in the Workplace and is focused on two of the major components, and they are technology and people. So, do you trust your IT and people in your institution? Let's find out by measuring the level of confidence in information technology and people in the workplace. The Academe is a workplace that is run not just with academicians, but also with information technology. Schools have transformed to support online learning. Automation has accelerated in a wide array of platforms, and many jobs have become entirely remote. Despite education's innovations and use of technology, digital trust is still challenging to measure and define, as supported in the proposal of Marcial and Launer in 2019. So how is digital trust described? This paper anchors the concept of digital trust from the main research, and that it underpins every digital interaction by measuring and quantifying the expectation that an entity is who or what it claims to be, and that it will behave in an unexpected manner, applying it to the academic context. In today's work environment, what is the level of trust in information technology and people with access to digital technology in the academe? For people in the academe, this definition implies the significance of human trust as something that affects responsibility norms and organizational outcomes, workplace safety, climate, as well as to organizational performance. Similarly, trust has a vital role to play in the decision-making in the workplace. In line with information technology, when the workforce has the freedom to speak their mind, express their ideas, and has a well-established trust with a technological system, trust becomes a factor that improves innovation and creativity. The scope of information technology is constantly evolving and fast-changing as its innovations. In the 90s, it comprises computer software and hardware, solutions that provide support of management, operations, and strategists in institutions. Later on, with the advent of the web and the internet, IT covers any technology in terms of equipment or technique used that handles information, which incorporates more advanced computing, telecommunication technologies, electronics, and broadcasting. Also, computer-based information systems in an organization are the main goals of IT at this time. These significant statements of information technology and human trust in the workplace are contributory to the workforce's level of trust in using these technologies, as well as with the people using them in the academe. In this paper, information technology encompasses electronic devices, hardware and software systems, and information systems. Electronic devices are those that are provided by the school, either for official or personal use, and come in the form of laptops, tablets, smartwatches, and others. On the other hand, hardware and software systems comprises installed hardware and software that are provided by the universities either for official or personal use. This covers ID systems, groupware systems, tracking and monitoring systems, CCTVs, and GPS. Information systems as a set of interrelated components that collect, manipulate, store, and disseminate data and information and provide a feedback mechanism to meet an objective. It covers, but not limited to, executive information, support, planning and budget, personnel, payroll, inventory, and reporting systems. Also, people are composed of management and internal entities, IT and data support, and external entities. Management and other entities comprise the top, middle, and first level managements, contributors, and coworkers, while IT and data support is composed of personal information processor, computer systems development team, IS supervisory team, IT librarian, and data encoder. The external team constitutes third parties such as the clients, sellers, the government, NGOs, and journalists. The purpose of the study, or the general objective of the study, is to measure the digital trust in the academic sector. Going back to the original framework, this study focuses on technology in terms of hardware, software, and information systems, as well as the people components in digital trust. This paper aims to measure the trust levels in technology in terms of electronic devices, hardware and software features, and the information system features, as well as the trust in people with access to digital technology in the academic sector. It also intends to find out the significant relationships and differences between IT and people trust levels and demographic profile, employment profile, technology integration, and social technographic profile. The researchers had an online survey that was conducted in 36 countries in Africa, Asia, Europe, North America, Oceania, and South America in 2019. For this paper, datasets were extracted from Marcial and Launer's survey data on digital trust in the workplace that gathered a total of 5,621 respondents, but only those coming from the education sector were included in the analysis. Respondents with incomplete data entry were removed. Hence, for this paper, the total number of datasets included is 878. A 4-point Likert scale, or the forced Likert scale, is used, with 1 equating to not trusted at all, 2 low, 3 moderate, 4 highly trusted. The reason it is named as forced Likert scale is that the user is forced to form an opinion. There is no safe, neutral option. Ideally, a good scale for market researchers, they make use of the 4-point scale to get specific responses. The following statistical tools are utilized in this paper. Weighted mean to determine the trust levels in technology in terms of electronic device, hardware and software systems, information systems, and level of trust in people with access to digital technology. Mean of means to determine the information, technology, and people trust level. Chi-square test to determine significant relationships, and analysis of variance to determine significant differences.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. This is Jade Montemayor, and I'm here to discuss about the results of this paper. Table 1A shows the mean trust level of electronic devices of respondents in academic workplaces. Of all the devices provided, the laptop has the highest trust level mean of 3.28, and the watches have the lowest trust level mean of 2.50. Overall, the level of trust of respondents from the Academe for electronic devices is moderate. Table 1B shows the mean trust level of hardware and software systems installed. The hardware and software systems range in trust level between 2.86 and 3.03 with an average of 2.99. Email tracking and monitoring system and ID system in daily time recording in institutions, universities, and schools got the highest trust level mean of 3.03, while ID system in cafeteria, for example, has the lowest trust level mean of 2.86. Overall, the trust level of the respondents in hardware and software systems that are implemented is moderate. Table 1C shows the mean trust level of information systems that are implemented in the academic workplace. The information systems range in trust level between 2.72 and 3.09 with an average of 2.93. Payroll systems got the highest trust level mean of 3.09, and internet bots has the lowest trust level mean of 2.72. Overall, the trust level of the respondents in information systems that are implemented is moderate. Table 2 shows the mean trust level of respondents in people with access to digital technology in terms of management and other internal entities, IT and data support, and external entities. Trust levels range between 2.66 and 3.06 with an average of 2.92. The information systems supervisory team, like for example the manager, the head, or the director, got the highest trust level mean of 3.06, and journalist of online newspapers has the lowest trust level mean of 2.66. All in all, the trust level of the respondents in people with access to digital technology is moderate. This table shows the measurement of the level of trust in information technology and people in academic workplaces. The mean trust levels of 3 information technology components considered range between 2.85 and 2.93, while that of people with access to digital technology is 2.92. Overall, the respondents have moderate trust in information technology and people in their workplaces with a mean of means of 2.92. Test of relationships and differences of information technology trust level. Table here show the results of the analysis made as to determine whether or not a significant relationship exists between each of the components included in the respondent's profile and their level of IT and people trust. All components are significantly related to the level of trust in IT and people. This goes to show that social demographics, employment profiles, and the respondent's technologic profile affect the level of trust in IT and people in the workplace. Delineated in this table is the result of the ANOVA analysis in determining whether or not the respondent's level of IT and people trust across the different groups significantly differs. As can be gleaned from the table, all components significantly differ. This result is manifested in their p-value, which is lesser than the margin of error at 0.05. This goes to show that even if respondents have a moderate level of IT and people trust, their levels of trust within the moderate range varies in intensity. Conclusions. In academic institutions, there is a reasonable trust in information technology in terms of hardware and software and people. People in the academe have an adequate level of confidence to trust in electronic devices, hardware and software, and information systems, as well as in people who have access to digital technology in the academic working environment. The results are the benchmark for the following recommendations. There is a need for the IT department and its similar offices to orient, guide, and train the employees on the use of electronic devices for them to be familiar and confident in the use of such technology. School administrators need to exert more effort to augment the trust levels among their employees, and lastly, to conduct further studies of the following. If digital trust affects technology acceptance and skills acquisition, or if rank, like for example, professors, researchers, affects trust level. That would be all for this paper. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Jade. And that's actually completes the presentation of the digital trust in the workplace, specifically technology integration, responsible netizenship, data privacy and protection, as well as digital trust in the academe. Before we will end, in the interest of time, maybe we can ask each of the presenter one question for all for a discussion, and at the same time a takeoff or a benchmark for the next year's Service Management Congress in Ostfalia University, hopefully. So to all the paper presenters, I only have one question for you, and perhaps anyone can just raise your hand, or maybe we will start from Jade Montemayor on the paper on data protection and privacy. And the question that I got is this one. In this time of COVID, do you think, because understandably, the data collection was done before COVID, and in this time of COVID, do you think data protection or digital or trust on data protection and privacy will change? Do you think the trust level will change in this time of COVID? And at the same time, maybe you can also segue, what do you think is the contribution of your result, especially during this time of pandemic? Jade?
Hi, Sir Dave. Good afternoon from the Philippines, and good day to everyone else in the rest of the world. Well, this is a very interesting question. So for me, it really depends. Like for example, if we compare the level of trust of the respondents versus the internet satisfaction, for instance, right? So nowadays, due to an increase in online platform utilizations, like for example, we have e-commerce, education, we have social media, almost everyone is using it nowadays. So telecommunication companies boosted internet connectivity. So current result shows that internet satisfaction is directly proportional to the level of trust in the data privacy in the workplace. So the question is, would the data change if the research, or would the result change if the data was taken during COVID time? Um, I cannot I cannot explicitly give you a black and white answer to this particular question, given that I have no data that would back up my claim. However, this is a very nice question for another research paper. Probably we can take another research paper and maybe take a data during pandemic time and see if the result would change. That is my take for that question, sir.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
take you on this one, and we make the next research paper. So you are on.